Gary Speed's death was a tragic blow to his fans, who absolutely adored him. But what made it even more heartbreaking was the possibility that he may have taken his own life. That thought alone was almost too much to bear, leaving his supporters even more shaken. His passing wasn't just a loss, it was a tragedy that left behind more questions than answers, along with a deep, lingering sadness in the hearts of those who admired him. On November 26, 2011, Gary Speed seemed to be in great spirits when he appeared as a guest on BBC One's Football Focus. Host Dan Walker later recalled that Speed was in fine form, laughing and chatting with everyone. After the show wrapped up at 1 p.m, he hung around, catching up with other pundits at the Media City studios in Salford. Later, he met up with his old Newcastle United teammate Alan Shearer, and together they watched their former club take on Manchester United at Old Trafford, a short walk from the studios. After the match, around 5 p.m, Speed got in his car and drove home to Huntington, Cheshire, about an hour away. Everything seemed normal. But the next morning, just before 7 a.m, tragedy struck. His wife, Louise, made a heartbreaking discovery. She found Speed's body in the garage. In shock, she called an ambulance at 7:08 a.m, and the police arrived shortly after. Sadly, they confirmed what no one wanted to hear. Gary Speed was gone. Authorities didn't consider his death suspicious, but reports soon suggested that he may have taken his own life. Just hours later, the Football Association of Wales broke the devastating news to the public. An inquest into his death began on November 29, 2011, but was postponed until January 30, 2012, as people struggled to come to terms with the loss of a true football legend. The loss was a huge one because he was a player who made a real impact. His performances were so incredible that he captivated hearts that still mourn for him today. Speed's football journey began in the late 1980s when he joined Leeds United as a trainee straight after finishing school in June 1988. At the time, he was just another young hopeful, working hard to prove himself. In fact, one of his early tasks as a youngster at the club was being Peter Swan's boot boy, a humble role that many young footballers took on as they climbed the ranks. But it wasn't long before his talent started to shine through. Just a few days after becoming a trainee, on June 13, 1988, Speed signed his first professional contract with Leeds, marking the start of what would become an extraordinary career. It was Leeds manager Howard Wilkinson who first spotted Speed's potential. During a youth game, Speed was playing as a left-back, and something about the way he moved on the pitch caught Wilkinson's attention. The manager saw something special in him, and soon enough, Speed was given his big break. At just 19 years old, he made his first team debut in a goalless draw against Oldham Athletic in the Football League 2nd Division. From that moment on, Speed proved to be an incredibly versatile player. Over the course of his career, he played in 9 of the 10 outfield positions, though he was best known for his skill on the left side of the pitch. Speed's rise at Leeds was swift. By the early 1990s, he had become a key part of the team, playing an essential role in one of the club's greatest triumphs. During the 1991-92 season, he was a constant presence on the field, playing in 41 of the 42 league games and scoring 7 goals. Leeds went on to win the Football League 1st Division title that season, a moment that cemented Speed's reputation as one of the best midfielders in English football. He was part of a legendary midfield quartet alongside Gordon Strachan, Gary McAllister and David Batty, a lineup that former Leeds manager Eddie Gray would later describe as one of the greatest midfields of the modern era. To top it all off, Wilkinson named Speed as Leeds Player of the Season, recognising just how vital he had been to their success. But Speed's impact at Leeds wasn't just limited to domestic football. In September 1992, he played a crucial role in Leeds' UEFA Champions League first-round match against VfB Stuttgart. after losing 3-0 in the first leg, Leeds needed something special in the return leg at Elland Road. And they delivered, winning 4-1, with Speed scoring one of the goals with a stunning left-footed volley, a goal he would later describe as the best of his career. Although Leeds initially went out on the away goals rule, they were later reinstated after Stuttgart was found to have fielded an ineligible player. His performances throughout the 1992-93 season earned him a spot in the PFA Team of the Year, further solidifying his status as one of the top midfielders in the league. Speed continued to deliver for Leeds in the following seasons, scoring crucial goals, including a dramatic last-minute winner against Notts County in the League Cup in October 1995. He also played in the 1996 League Cup final, though Leeds fell short against Aston Villa. By the time he left the club, he had made 312 appearances and scored 57 goals, leaving behind a legacy as one of Leeds' finest players. A lifelong Everton fan, Speed made a dream move to Goodison Park ahead of the 1996-97 season, joining the club for £3.5 million. He made an immediate impact, scoring on his debut against Newcastle United on August 17, 1996. A few months later, in November, he achieved a career first, scoring a hat-trick as Everton thrashed Southampton 7-1 at home. It would turn out to be the only hat-trick of his career, making it a moment to remember. By the end of the season, Speed had finished as Everton's joint top scorer alongside Duncan Ferguson with 11 goals, and his outstanding performances earned him the club's Player of the Year award. When Howard Kendall took over as Everton manager at the start of the 1997-98 season, he made Speed the club captain. However, things soon turned sour between the two. By January 1998, Speed's time at Everton was coming to an end. He played his last game for the club on January 18th, scoring in a 3-1 win over Chelsea. Then, suddenly, he was gone. He didn't even travel with the team for their next match against West Ham United. Shortly after, he was sold to Newcastle United for £5.5 million. To this day, the real reasons behind his departure remain a mystery. Speed himself gave a cryptic response when asked about it, saying, "You know why I'm leaving, but I can't explain myself publicly because it would damage the good name of Everton Football Club, and I'm not prepared to do that." Speed joined Newcastle on February 6, 1998, under manager Kenny Dalglish. He made his debut the very next day in a 1-0 home loss to West Ham. It didn't take long for him to make an impact, scoring his first goal in his 5th match, a crucial FA Cup win over Barnsley. He also played a key role in helping Newcastle reach back-to-back FA Cup finals in 1998 and 1999, though they lost both times. One of his most memorable moments in a Newcastle shirt came on September 19, 1999, when he scored in the club's famous 8-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday, a match where Alan Shearer netted 5 goals. Speed stayed at Newcastle until 2004, making 500 Premier League appearances, a record at the time. That summer, he moved to Bolton Wanderers on a 2-year deal. Despite being in the later stages of his career, he continued to perform at a high level. In December 2006, he became the first player to reach 500 Premier League appearances. The following May, he was named first-team coach at Bolton after Sam Allardyce stepped down as manager. However, by October, he decided to step away from coaching to focus on playing again. Even as his playing days wound down, Speed continued making history. In August 2007, he scored a header against Reading, making him the only player to have scored in every Premier League season up to that point. Ryan Giggs would later match and surpass this record. In January 2008, Speed joined Sheffield United on loan, later making the move permanent. He became a key figure at the club, often serving as captain. However, in November 2008, he suffered a back injury that would ultimately end his playing career. Despite undergoing surgery, he never regained full fitness. Instead, he shifted his focus to coaching, staying with Sheffield United in a coaching role. By 2010, Speed had fully transitioned into coaching and even took part in the London Marathon to raise money for the Sir Bobby Robson Foundation, a cancer charity set up in memory of his former Newcastle manager. He completed the race in an impressive 3 hours, 49 minutes and 22 seconds. Although he had retired from playing, Speed remained registered as a player for Sheffield United and was even named on the bench for a League Cup match at the start of the following season. However, by this point his career as a professional footballer was officially over. And that's a wrap for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.